Hey there, teachers. So strum patterns are what really bring rhythm guitar playing to life. They're also a way to control the mood and the style of a particular song. So that was a pretty classic style, classic pop. And that's also one that you'll find in the 4Chords and Ukulele apps called Old Faithful. I could do the same chord progression and give it a reggae feel. Or maybe a hard rock feel. Or keep it super simple. And that's the great thing. You can use strum patterns to differentiate in your classroom. So you could have a student that's just starting out play just on the downbeat the moment that chord change happens. And that gives them the rest of the time to work on the switch. So maybe the beginners are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, while your more advanced students are going 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or something like that. So that's a great way to get the beginners playing with the intermediate and advanced kids on the same song. So songs in 4Chords and Ukulele always have a suggested strum pattern that matches the mood of the song. And there's only a certain amount in the app that are suggested. So they're not written in stone, they're just suggestions. So you could teach those to your kids because they're kind of like standard strum patterns that they should know. But you should also encourage them to come up with their own strum patterns and to assign different strum patterns based on ability level. So there's one core technique tip that I have for strumming that I encourage you to work on with your students right away, even if it's just on one chord getting this down, and that is to have a constant down-up motion with your wrist. So if we just take the chord C and go like this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, so it's an eighth note, constant eighth note strumming like this. So always going down up, and that does not change even if the pattern changes. What does change is when you actually make contact with the strings. So the next step is to practice what I call ghost strumming like this. I'm still going up and down, but I've got about an inch between my hand and the strings. Now mixing together hitting the strings and ghosting, I can do all sorts of patterns. The one I did earlier. Or the reggae one I did, like this, watch. That's all on the upstrokes. So I'm ghosting on the way down and hitting on the way back up. And you might want to go over very simple ones to start. Something like this. You can do a call and response. You can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then maybe 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. But if your students are able to master this constant up and down motion, it's really going to serve them well when they start trying to sing and play together and just have a really fluid sense of rhythm. Because if you're trying to do a jagged strum like this, it's going to be very robotic, it'll lack that fluid, and it's going to be really hard when they're trying to sing and play at the same time. So always having that constant always doing that up and down at a consistent tempo. And it's the same thing with ukulele. Alright, so that was my technique tip. Now let's check out inside Ukulele and 4Chords, the strum section, and all of the great features that are there.